over 5 years to support the expansion of an EV charging network in the state. We could also apply for up to $2.5 billion in grant funding dedicated to EV charging. We already have a good network of charging infrastructure in the Phoenix and metro area, and we want to make sure we expand that throughout the state so that people can feel comfortable wherever they are going, that they will have the opportunity to charge vehicles. We know this can be very important to adoption of electric vehicles in our communities. It's also very important to addressing the largest source of emissions in the US related to transportation. We can have sustainable vehicles and fortify our grid. Spurring electric vehicle adoption is a priority for the city of Phoenix. I recently named an electric vehicle committee for the city that will look at how we can electrify our city of Phoenix fleet, make it easier for adoption locally, and support the market. We are already known as the Electric Valley. We have a great concentration of electric vehicle companies, and it is only growing. The city of Phoenix wants to be a partner. We are proud that we've been leaders in sustainable fleets at the city of Phoenix. Already today, 73% of our fleet is powered with what some people call alternative sources of fuel, ranging from electric vehicle to hydrogen, biofuels, ethanol, propane, and natural gas. We have been cutting edge and we will continue to be so. There's a reason so many companies across the globe have tested their vehicles in Arizona. This is a great place for vehicle innovation, and we hope that that will continue and help us leave behind a innovative, sustainable community for those that come in the next generation. We are at a very important time right now where we're really seeing transitions in the vehicle fleets. Corporate America and automakers generally have been making big announcements related to electric vehicles, and we're seeing leadership roles from Washington, D.C. I want to applaud those members of our congressional delegation who have been working so hard to advance investments in infrastructure, including electric vehicle. We hope to get to the finish line very soon. Extending and expanding tax incentives will make electric cars and trucks more affordable and accessible to all buyers. We want to make sure that we encourage that widespread adoption of electric vehicles by making vehicles more affordable. And we need Congress to make bold investments to be able to spur the economy and take it to the next level. The timing could not be more important as we as a planet are going into our United Nations climate change talks coming up this November. I am proud to be one of the co-chairs of Climate Mayors, a group of US mayors, more than 400 deep on both political parties, who are moving forward on climate change investments. Cities will be partners in investing, and we look forward to working with the federal government to take this to the next level. I have many partners in that area, and I'm excited to bring next to the floor Shelby Stoltz with Advanced Energy Economy. Shelby, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Mayor Gallego. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you today. First, I wanted to tell everyone a little bit about Advanced Energy Economy. We're a member-based trade association representing over 100 companies in the advanced energy industry, including EV manufacturers, suppliers of EV charging infrastructure and support services, and EV fleet managers. We see electrified transportation as being an amazing economic opportunity for Arizona. Arizona is already a hub for electric vehicle manufacturing, with vehicle and battery companies like Lucid, Nikola, and most recently Core Power establishing and planning to build future facilities here. Recently, AEE completed an analysis focusing on the electrified transportation supply chain here nationally, which showed that over 2,000 workers in Arizona are in the electrified transportation industry. Growth nationally is projected to nearly double by 2024. And I think that this could be even higher for Arizona, as we're seeing a growing transportation electrification hub really starting to take off here. We've also modeled the impacts of federal investment in electrified transportation in Arizona, and that has shown that investing in electrified vehicles would produce 83,000 jobs and save Arizonans more than $270 million each year in fuel costs. Our recommendations for this is that Congress should support tax incentives for all classes of electric vehicles, light, medium, and heavy-duty electric vehicles, as well as electric vehicle charging equipment. This will support the growing EV industry in Arizona, expand customer access, and help businesses transition their fleets, and especially to help connect some of the already amazing work that Mayor Gallego is completing in Phoenix with their build out of EV charging. Financial support should also be given to help electrify school buses, transit buses, and other government or publicly owned fleets. This will provide additional economic stimulus and save local tax dollars. Tax incentives and other policies that support EV manufacturers and key supply chain components will also further incentivize domestic growth and job creation in Arizona and keep even more companies beginning to locate in Arizona to boost the supply chain. Now I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Zach Friedman. He is the Director of Federal Policy with Ceres. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Shelby, and I'm glad to be here. Again, my name is Zach Friedman, and I'm the Director of Federal Policy at Ceres, a nonprofit that works with major corporations, investors, and policymakers to address the risks of climate change and seize the opportunities of the clean energy economy. We are grateful for Senator Sinema's leadership in negotiating and Senator Kelly's vote to support the bipartisan infrastructure package. The bill is a good first step, including important provisions for the domestic electric vehicle supply chain, and will begin to deploy more much-needed charging infrastructure across Arizona and the country. But we can't stop there. Scientists have made it clear that we need serious progress against the climate crisis as quickly as possible, as have the wildfires, droughts, and floods we are seeing across the state, region, and globe. And Arizona and the US need to ensure a robust economic recovery that builds a more sustainable, just, and competitive economy. That means we need bold federal investments that will accelerate this market. The business community has been a strong supporter of vehicle electrification, and many businesses want to electrify their own fleets. Nearly 30 major corporations, including Fortune 500s, with significant presences on Arizona's roads, including Amazon, Hertz, and Lyft, have banded together as the Corporate Electric Vehicle Alliance, or CEVA, led by Ceres, to demonstrate the huge combined demand for electric vehicles and push to grow the supply of affordable electric trucks, vans, and necessary charging infrastructure, including in a July letter sent to key members of Congress, advocating for strong EV incentives. Companies see many benefits to going electric. Fuel and maintenance savings are good for the bottom line. Lower pollution is good for public health and key to meeting corporate climate goals and avoiding future risk. And the growth of the EV industry will lead to innovation and jobs in Arizona and make the US auto and trucking industry and economy more competitive. The problem is that many of the models and the supporting charging infrastructure the companies need are not yet available at scale and cost. Congress must prioritize policies and investments getting electric trucks, vans, and cars mass-produced and on the road in time to tackle the climate crisis and dominate this industry of the future. So I join my fellow speakers today to urge Senator Sinema, Senator Kelly, and the entire Arizona federal delegation to support a federal budget that includes significant additional investments in vehicle electrification, including tax credits, rebates, and point-of-sale incentives that will rapidly grow the supply of EVs and increase charging infrastructure deployment to meet demand and deliver a clean and equitable transportation future across Arizona and the entire economy. And with that, I'll give it to Daniel from Lucid Motors.
Yes, hello. Thank you, everyone. My name is Daniel Witt. I'm the head of head of state and local public policy for Lucid Motors. What I'd like to convey today is just this huge opportunity that lays before our country and specifically the state of Arizona. The change from internal combustion engines to zero emission vehicles offers a unique opportunity to states like Arizona without an incumbent auto industry in its past. Lucid is emblematic of the type of immediate opportunity that lays before Arizona's leaders, in the sense that what was only dirt 18 months ago is now a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in rural Arizona, with nearly 1,000 quality jobs, with thousands more to come, in addition to state-of-the-art vehicles coming off the line before the end of this year. Companies like Lucid have laid the groundwork for a new industry in Arizona focused on transportation electrification, with a local supply chain that can bring billions in private investment and tens of thousands of jobs to the state in the coming years. Given the pace of international competition, such investments will only come with focused and ambitious federal policies that support the growth of a domestic industry and greater consumer adoption. Conversely, of course, anything done to restrict that growth of the local marketplace or the domestic industry is antithetical to the interests of a state like Arizona, which has so much to gain from embracing this industry. It's imperative that our state leaders not only support these policies, but champion them and embrace the opportunity to have this industry based in Arizona, even more so than it has been in Detroit. I look forward to the support of Senators Sinema and Kelly in the coming months as we discuss and debate a myriad of policies that ultimately could lead to much greater levels of adoption in the near future of this technology. Thank you. Oh, and please let me reintroduce Steve Zylstra from the Technology Council to wrap everything up.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. And I want to thank all for your attention this morning. And thanks again to Mayor Kate Gallego, Shelby Stoltz, Daniel Witt, and Zach Friedman for their support and remarks. As they already have indicated, Arizona stands to benefit greatly from making additional investments in clean vehicles, more developed transportation infrastructure, and electric vehicle tax incentives. We appreciate your spreading our urgent message to prioritize clean energy and shift the federal government's focus to supporting innovative solutions for clean and renewable energy technologies. With your help, I know we can all ensure an increase in local, high-quality, clean energy jobs that serve as catalysts for economic growth and market certainty in Arizona. With that, I'll turn it back to Kevin.
Thank you, Steve, to all of our speakers. That's the end of our formal remarks portion of our event. We now have a few minutes for questions related to today's event. For members of the media, if you have a question, you can use the raise your hand function to indicate a question, or you can also type your question into the chat box. I will work through the questions one at a time and unmute your line so you can ask the speaker your question. Before getting to your question, please state your name, media outlet, and if you have a specific panelist that you are directing your questions to. So with that, please let us know. If you have a question, use the raise your hand function.
That's good. I guess we answered all the questions.
One of the benefits of being an expert panel of speakers who solved and answered all the questions. Members of the media, if you have any questions, please feel free, raise your hand. Use the raise your hand function. Happy to unmute your line to ask any questions.
Well, thank you all for a great panel and a chance to talk about the future of the Electric Valley.
Thank you, Mayor.
For being here.
Absolutely. And thanks again to all of our speakers. And I want to thank the Arizona Technology Council for hosting the event and live streaming the event. I want to thank all their speakers for their time and continued support for significant investment in electric vehicles and EV incentives. Thanks to all the members of the media for joining us. I should note that a video recording of this event will be available on the Arizona Technology Council's Facebook page. A link to that video will be sent out in the press release within the next hour. If you have any follow-up questions or requests for speaker interviews, you can connect with Ashley Santa Cruz, whose contact information is on the press advisory and the press release. Thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
Recording stopped.